happy to see you all. This is going to be a kind of a cool show. Let me see if I can look at you all. Can I say good morning or good afternoon or good evening? I don't know. I don't have like the world clock in the background. I'm happy you're all here. The title, I know it was a little clickbaity, right? Extinction on July 27, 2018. Well, Netflix coming out with a new series. That's right. It's called Extinction. Yeah. Now, why do you think that this is so interesting to me? I don't know if you all believe in synchronicity. If you've been watching the show long enough, you probably started to notice that, you start thinking about things, you start talking about things, and all of a sudden those things start to like appear everywhere. Well, if you know anything about my channel, I've been on YouTube for about 10 years, okay? If you don't know me, if you're new to the channel, thank you for coming by. You're going to stick around. Just give me 5 minutes. And you'll see why you should stick around for this information. But I was a TV writer and producer for many years. Worked for the WWE, wrestling. Jacob wrestled, right? Then I went to Laban. I went to work for Laban, the sheep shearer. That was Christian TV. I was a shepherd of the flock, if you will. I was a writer and a producer. All this, I'm bringing all this up because symbols play a very important role in life. And when you look at the scriptures, you see these stories that are told out. My story is very much like the story of Jacob from scripture, which is pretty cool. Each of our stories is, if you know anything about Joseph Campbell, it would be called the hero's journey, the hero's story, if you will. And I think all of you have this within you, whether you know it or not, but you're like the center, you're like the star, you're the main player in this show. Extinction on Netflix, which is coming out right now, is wow, it's going to be an interesting movie to be watching, for sure. And why is it so interesting? Well, it's interesting because this channel, I've been on here for about 10 years. Like I said, I gave you a little background about my life, that I've been in television. And, my dream was when I worked for Christian television, I saw that they were sharing this. They were selling, if you will, faith. And, I just totally disagreed with it. I just wanted to help people because I felt like if the truth was out there or within all of us, which I believe it is, I don't believe that it should be sold. I believe that, of course, it should be supported, encouraged, and sought after. But so when I was working there, I decided that one day I'm going to leave and I'm just going to have to just give it away for free. I'm just gonna have to come on here and share my faith and everything I've learned over the last 2 decades and just put it out there. I'm like a guy that actually acts on faith. I believe that faith is a very important thing. I believe that the reason you're here right now live is because you feel that too. Like you feel that there's more to life than just working your little 9-to-5 job. Just going in there and doing your work. Or in my case, sometimes yesterday I worked like almost 12 hours. I walked out and I said, "What am I doing? It's 12 hours, half of a day." It's like we're all a little. Sometimes, if we're focused on the boxes that we work at and the boxes that we travel in and the boxes that we reside in, and we don't think outside of the box, which some people get stressed out when they come to the channel because I like to share things a little outside of the box with people. I like to stretch their imaginations, if you will, because it's important. Otherwise, you're a slave. So the good thing is that while I'm working, something like almost 12-hour day. I'm doing more. I was reaching out to so many people, and I was creating things, and I was thinking about things, and I was meditating, and I was praying, and I was seeking, and the answer this morning hit me, and it hit me smack dab in the middle of the face with this movie that's coming out on Netflix. So weird, right? Extinction. Now, is this about me saying that we're all going to go extinct? No, that's not what I'm saying. We're going to get into what this film is about in a second. I'm going to come on over here into the chat room for a second. I want to make sure that y'all can't hear a buzz from the air conditioner because I can't stand that when I play it back and there's like a buzz, Do you hear everything okay? Is the audio good? Because I got a lot of information I want to get out to y'all, and I want to make sure that the information is good. Yes, Brenton, you made it to the live show. Holy cow, exactly. Wes says nope. No buzz. Okay, no buzz. That's good. Okay, so no, I'm good to go. Is that what you're saying? Fine. Good job, guys. Oh, man, I appreciate that. Y'all helping me to sound good. Okay, so you're the star of the show, right? You're the beginning and the end of your life. I share that with you. I'm the beginning and the end of my life. Isn't that interesting? You wake up and your world kind of comes into existence. You go to sleep, and sometimes you go to sleep and new worlds pop up, and you exist in them, in your dream state, right? We all share this really interesting experience together, or that we're the center of our experience. Now, I believe that we're all connected, and I believe that we've all been placed here for a reason, and I believe that we've been lied to a lot. And that's why I think a lot of people are miserable today. I think that's why you see suicide the way it is, and you see drug addiction the way it is, and you see so much hate and so much division and everything else, because we've been lied to, and we've bought into the lie, and the lie's not working anymore. So people got to break free. What I've been sharing lately on the channel, I've been talking a lot about this dragon, right? Astronomy. There's some interesting stuff going down. On July 27th, there's a huge lunar eclipse, okay? So, and if we have a problem with my stream, just so you know, I've had a lot of issues just trying to get this message out there. I wouldn't doubt that would happen, but it's no big deal. It's still going to come through. So I've been really kind of digging into this stuff. Now, when my channel took off about 2 years ago, it was because I had this crazy nightmare about, this planet called Nebra. I didn't know anything about it. Go back and watch the earlier videos. I'm not going to bore everybody who's already been at the channel for a long time. But I had this, crazy, I had these crazy coincidences. I had all of this stuff that kind of I felt like everything was working together to get me to talk about this stuff that I didn't believe in, right? Aliens and all that nonsense. Didn't believe in any of that stuff. Not saying I do now either. But I know that there was a reason I needed to share it. And when I finally did, after a terrible nightmare, you should go back and watch, because it was a lot of weird stuff. I'm actually in a sci-fi book, the lead character in Athlon, my buddy. If he's in the chat, sometimes he checks it out. You got to check out his book. It's called Athlon, and I'm the kind of the lead character. He modeled one of the characters about me, but it's about an alien invasion, right? Why do I say all this? Okay, so in the background, what I don't share with all of you is how. I think a lot of this is possible. I don't think that this is all crazy talk. I think that this is interesting, and I think that's the reason why you see many organizations from CERN and Fermi Labs, and even out here, Rick, the Collider. I mean, they're doing things. They're creating dark matter, and they're creating black holes, and they're trying to break into other dimensions. And there's a lot of stuff that's been going on, and you'd have to be kind of. Well, if you don't tell me that the last couple of years that the world doesn't seem different to you, I think that you'd be a little, maybe lying to yourself, because the world is very different than it was about 2 years ago. Yeah, go back and see about how I said 2 years ago, how I said that I don't think you're going to recognize the world in 2 years' time. And here we are, right? And then here we get this morning. I wake up after, once again, a night of, deep prayer, because a lot of you were talking to me about the dragon. Because my last video was about that. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And how they're seeing, a lot of people were telling me about all the dragons that they're seeing. Let me see if I can pull some of this up. Rebecca. Rebecca said, "Oh, Imagine Dragons, Thunder and Lightning." I forgot to mention. Yeah, I think Imagine Dragons. I guess someone told me that they're on tour, and I think that's wicked cool. Very, very cool. It's interesting, right? But it wasn't just that. It was one thing after another thing. I kept getting all of these comments from all of you about how you're seeing a dragon, right? And here we got M Casual. Now, this is a big thing right now. This is a big story. I'm going to get back to the Netflix thing, but just follow me here. I'm kind of just going with the flow on this. So this was yesterday. He posted this. There's also the Wild Boars team, Thailand Cave Rescue, and Here Comes the Dragon. Okay, so there was a viral, kind of a viral picture of this, and you see the boys trapped in the cave. Now, what's interesting about that, if I can get down here and find it, is that caves, according to Scuba Girl, yeah, that's right. I'm starting to put your comments up. I'm going to start doing that. Because I'm starting to realize that, my goodness, we're all growing with each other. So I'm going to start, when I do a live show, which is going to be rare, I'm only doing it now because Ethan, he's getting his physical. So the Dan's going for like an hour and a half, and I'm like, oh, I better quick put this thing together because I was thinking about it in my head, and here we are. But Scuba Girl tells me that some caves are referred to as dragon mouths. Those lost boys in Thailand were rescued from the dragon's mouth. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? Because I was talking in the last video and the video before, and when I was on Jason's channel, check out his show. I don't know if I'm going to link this one. I'll link it later. But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting, right? Right now, like, there's a lot of stuff that's being forced, like, right in our face about, you know, you have the child, right? The abortion rights. Should we let the child live? And all over with the immigration, the picture of the child taken from the parents, and you know, you have this idea of the system taking the child from the parents. And I want to tell you something. I want to speak up. I want to speak up to a lot of you, because I get some comments that are like, no, you don't understand. Trump's doing the right thing, and Clinton does. You're all, please don't miss the point on this. I'm not making any kind of judgment call on what's going on. I'm just saying that you see playing out a lot with a child that was born that is being forced from or lost in, right? Child being taken from his parents, abortion rights. Child being taken from his parents. And now we have, thank you to Scuba Girl. Didn't even think about this. I didn't even think about this, Scuba Girl. Or my other buddy who sent me something, too. Didn't even think about it. That the cave, right? Because the caves are so symbolic in Scripture. If you know anything about caves in Scripture, it's like, wow, you got to take a moment to just look it up, because it's kind of symbolic of being lost in darkness, if you will. Lost, right? And these boys, they were lost. That's what's interesting about all this. I didn't think at the time that these boys, let me see if I can get a picture of them. I think I pulled it up. I didn't think at the time that this, which was just yesterday, would be such comfort to all of us. There was actually a cartoon with the dragon at the end. You see the wild boars and everybody they kind of used all these different animals to, it's just interesting. Yeah, the cave system almost looked like that plume dragon. So isn't that a good sign? Wouldn't that be a good sign that the first footage emerges of the boys in the hospital? They're alive, right? It's kind of a good thing. Here we see the boy being saved from the mouth of the dragon, thanks to Scuba Girl. Very, very cool. Now, what does this have to do with everything that's going on right now? What does this have to do with Netflix? Okay, let me pull this up. July 27th, Extinction. Okay, one more time. So I had all these weird dreams, and I had all these weird ideas, and I had all this weird coincidence about this planet that was incoming. So I started to step out in faith, and as I said, when I finally did that first video on Planet X, Planet 9, or Gopolis, Nibiru, whatever you want to call it, whether they're planets or not, my God, I hear everybody in the comments section, they're already going to be mad at me later. Look at life. Let's not get caught up in the trees, man. Right? Let's look at the big picture. Let's look at the painting called life, okay? Let's look at it for a second. We're all here, we're experiencing it. So let's look at the story that's coming out. So all of these things got me to step out in faith and just say, all right. I kind of felt like Jonah, right? It's kind of like God tells Jonah, you got to go over to Nineveh. You got to tell they're evil people. You got to tell them to stop. And otherwise, I'm gonna blow it up. I'm gonna chop it down. It's gonna go boom, boom. It's gonna go bye. You can tell that I talk to my 6-year-old a lot. And Jonah's like, no, you kidding me? I was just doing a speaking tour. You know, I'm now being respected as some kind of person who, little theologian and into myth and scholarly, and I just went and I had a big speaking engagement. Jonah's like, I got a novel. My novel's coming out, right? I'm not going to go tell people, everything is going to turn sideways and blow up. I was kind of like me. But then one thing after another thing after another thing. In life, when you feel like you're supposed to do something, I always have there's a litmus test for it. And the litmus test is, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone and that your heart is in the right place. Like, you want to help someone, you want to help others, and you don't want to cause fear and panic. That's the other thing. See, that's why this is a slippery slope for me, because I'm not terrified. I'm really kind of excited, and I'm a little anxious and a little nervous, but not about like what's going to happen in a week or so. About what's going to happen like over the next couple of years leading up to 2024. You're going to see, I hope you're still with me, you're going to see why. Because it all starts to come into focus, and then you're like, yeah, I got to do a live stream, man. Got to come on there, I got to tell everybody. I mean, as if it matters. I don't know. I think it matters. I think that you should be you should be getting your life in order. I think that you should be living a life where that you're you have joy, and because this moment that we're all in, I think, is really important, like infinitely important. I mean, what was Avengers, right? We're just the Infinity War. The war for infinity is on. You know what I mean? Thanos could just try to destroy half the population. There's going to be another movie. It's going to be another movie. Hope you're catching this, right? It's going to be another movie. So we see the boys being saved from this dragon. So that's a good sign. It's a really good sign. I wake up this morning and I see the trailer for this movie right here. Man, Extinction. I mean, that title alone, it'll just really, it catches you. Kind of makes you think like, wow, could it be another thing that I gotta worry? What I wish I'd be so scared of, right? Then all of a sudden, you find out that Extinction's about an alien invasion. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of interesting. It's interesting. It tells a story about a guy, just a normal guy, hardworking guy, right? Guy, kind of a good guy, maybe a guy who has faith. I don't know. He starts having these nightmares, and he feels like he has to tell people about like aliens coming, right? He even got a little telescope, Like I have my telescope on the back. I bought some like telescope as if I'm going to see something. I don't know. I've been checking out all the the stuff that I can actually get it focused on. But so you see this guy. He's having these dreams and he's starting to freak out about things. He's getting a little nervous. He's like, what do I do? What do I do? He's looking into the telescope. Maybe he starts a little YouTube channel. So in this trailer, there's this day that happens and the invasion happens, right? Now this is coming, this is going to be airing. I mean, it's like just the coincidence of it. I think it's just remarkable. July 27th. This is the blood moon. Where I just did just the videos and then just the alien invasion, right? And I hear other ones. I hear other ones that are commenting right now and they're saying, they're not aliens, they're demons. It doesn't matter. Let's look at it like a painting, okay? Look at it like a painting. I'm not saying this is going to happen, by the way. Just saying I think it's very coincidental. It's kind of like my story. It's kind of like why I'm here now. And the video that I just did, I mean, it's like Netflix just comes out and this is the news today. Extinction's coming. July 27th on Netflix. It's just, especially when we have the stuff that's going on in Mars. Now, this is also happening in tandem. That's right. Look at the date. 11:15 a.m. this was posted. NASA may have torched building blocks of life on Mars in 1976. Now, you remember recently they said that, oh yeah, there's life on Mars, but then something happened and there's no life. So, okay. I guess back in, now the news is that they've known about this for a long time. Yeah. You think? I mean, if it's real, right? You think that they know about it and keep it a secret? You know what's funny is that when I started talking about Planet 9 and I said that, you know what, it'll probably happen, short period of time, they'll start mentioning, well, it's probably out there. Then they'll start showing some evidence that, yeah, it's out there, like they did, back in. and Brown over at Caltech. And then what they'll do is, then they'll start saying, no, we're going to look for it. And I said all this stuff. I mean, I'm not the only one. There are a lot of great channels out there that, really focus on this. I think WSO or something. I mean, I a lot of people tell me about him. I've checked out his channel once. He seems like he's a great guy. One day he actually commented on, and I appreciated that. I'm going to have to watch more because there are channels that are actually just focused on this and primarily this. I'm not. I'm kind of going with the flow, and I'm going to see where I'm supposed to go. And because I believe ultimately it's not about fear, and it's not about like, what's coming. Get your your food and your water ready, which you should, by the way. You should. I mean, not very difficult to do it. You start, every time you get rid of a milk bottle, you fill it up with water, seal it, put it in a room. There's little things you should do. Because, you look at what happened in Puerto Rico right now. Not to be in fear, just to be prepared. You should be prepared. Everybody should be prepared. It's good. Yeah, it's good to be prepared. So, now they're talking about life on other planets. And that they knew about it back in the day. It's interesting. It's interesting. This was just like last month's announcements where they talked about the building blocks, but NASA torched it. Go figure, right? Because, they're all about telling us the truth. Let me just explain some of this to you. New research suggests the same organic molecules may have actually been discovered by the Viking landers NASA sent to Mars in 1976. And then they accidentally burnt. Okay. In the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. We know what's really kind of interesting is that at the same time, this is happening too. Alien breakthrough. This is, I believe this is from Express. Scientists discover a nearby planet could host life. Yeah, well, we've heard about that. And usually, what's interesting. Say what you want about Expresses. They'll have like these, clickbaity titles, and then it's almost like they jump. They get a jump on everybody, and then other people start talking about it. So we're now talking more about life on other planets, and it's not just there. It's not just. This is another exoplanet that's like perfect for us. If we were ever to need a place to go. What I thought was weird with this whole Mars thing is, that Mars right now there's this global dust storm. I think the last I read about it, they said that it may be quieting down, but while it's closest to the Earth and actually brighter than it was when my daughter Shala was born, because I wrote about this in my novel. I thought that Mars being closer to Earth, it was like 60,000 years since the last time it was here. Right before Shala was born, I just thought I was a person of faith. At the time I was in Texas. I was working in I was in Keller. I was working for that awesome huge Christian network that I put on notice and then left. But I remember seeing that sign, and I wrote about it in my book, and the title was called "A Child Is Born." So symbolically, when I saw the titles about how Mars is closer to the Earth than it's been since 2003, I was like, there's got to be a connection here. There's got to be some kind of a, like this was a marking point in the heavens. I felt, I actually said that it was like the light that led men from the east to a child in a manger. I felt like it was important. I don't know why, but here we have it again. Now, what's interesting is because of this dust storm, the rover that was sending, why did they send the rover out there? If it's out there, okay, settle down in the peanut gallery. If it's out there, why the picture, remember the story? For all you know, I'm not even here, but I am. I just don't know if you're here. I mean, like literally. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? Who knows that I only know that I exist. I hope that you know that as well. And if you do, you should exist in peace and joy and realize that everyone else is connected to you, that we're all one. So while NASA is planet hunting, guess what else takes a nap? Kepler. All of a sudden, that's running down too. It's running out of fuel. I think it's coincidental, right? The rover goes down, this goes down, that goes down, and all of a sudden, Kepler is going to take a nap. It's out of fuel. Here's the thing that I really wanted to talk about. Let me just say hi to everybody in the because I feel like I've kind of neglected all of you. So let me see where you are. And I'm just going to put this up right now as one of my friends did that for me many, many moons ago. What do you all think? Do you think that there's something going down? Because I think there's something going down. Chad says, take a chill pill, peanut gallery. That's so funny. No, I mean, listen, everybody's welcome. Everybody has their own ideas. And you know what? A lot of people, they believe a little bit differently than me, and that's fine. And they care about me, and they want me to see it. And believe me, if you think that I just believe that I believe that I believe, no. But what I do know is that if they're talking about it, there's a symbol there, a sign there for me to know about and me to learn about. So as Corsoro says, something biblical is happening, and I agree. Stephen Mitchell's buckled up, and so am I, and I hope you are too. You can't imagine Christ as a literal being? Well, the word Christ, just so you know, maybe I should come on over here and talk to you all. The word Christ just means anointing, or the anointed one. It is not about a literal person. It is about being anointed with the power and wisdom of God. And how do I know that? Because see, people are like, I didn't learn that in church. I thought Christ was a man. Because the Bible, the things that they're supposed to be teaching out of, actually tells you that. Christ, the actual scripture, Christ, the power and wisdom of God. By the way, God is also called love. So you could even say the power and wisdom of God, which is love. The power and wisdom of love, being anointed with the power of love, the wisdom of love. Think about that. God. And that's what we need today, especially if extinction is about to happen, right? I think things are going to get really kooky. I'm really hoping, I watch a lot of channels. I just stumbled upon, and I'm not a subscriber of his, AM TV or something, real good-looking guy dressed to the nines. He's got it down, right? But my goodness, he was telling everybody, just because they're talking about fear, is the world, everything's going to blow up right now, and it's like nuclear war, and you better be prepared. And man, I was terrified, man. I was terrified. Fear. Well, there's torment in it. That's why God doesn't give you the spirit of fear. So fear doesn't really exist. It's not real. It's make-believe. It's imagined. I mean, there's panic. There's there's that fight or flight, sure, but we don't know what's coming. But the signs are telling me that as this dragon, by the way, the dragon was in a lot more places, because I had a lot of people talking about this, and I thought it was really cool. Somebody actually commented. I went back and I really wanted to show this. Let me see here. Oh, this is funny. Country Mouse. Before I watched this video last night, my boyfriend was watching The Last Dragon Slayer. Didn't even think about it. And I asked if I could change it to to Jacob's new video, which was about dragons. Very cool. So this is what we would call synchronicity. Synchronicity is pretty cool. The FIFA World Cup. I don't know if I can find, I think I clipped it. I'm not really sure. The FIFA World Cup is, they symbolized a dragon. They had a dragon in their opening. Yeah, in their opening. It's like the opening for FIFA, the World Cup, right? You see this thing, and actually it was kind of interesting because it was at one point the soccer ball became like a winged planet, which is weird. I wish I had that picture. I thought I pulled it. And it was flying through, and you see this big red dragon. FIFA World. And I forgot, somebody commented and said, Jacob, this was just and then there was somebody else who said, yeah, Rio's huge parade symbolized a dragon. Everybody was talking about dragons everywhere. Dragons. But then I saw this, and I thought to myself, wow, what a good sign. What a good sign. See that the boys, the children are being rescued from the mouth of the dragon. So now this is the hard part, okay? This morning, I was still chewing on this. Now, I don't know if you saw this meeting. It's on YouTube. You can check it out with Trump meeting with the, it was great because the press secretary basically said, it was look, because of Trump's leadership, everybody's increasing their spending and they got to do it. They got to do it. Everybody's got to do it. And everybody was on board, right? certainly seems like, because you have one side of the media and then the other side. And once again, people, I'm not getting political. Let me look you in the eye on this one, please. I'm not getting political here. We're not talking politics here. Let's look at the picture, okay? Let's just look at the picture. You actually do kind of see all the countries coming together. The only one right now that seems to be opposing this union is the dragon, China. Trump's about to go meet with Putin. He was giving some tough talk. He was giving some tough talk. He was about how the former chancellor of Germany, the head of the pipeline, the head of the getting the oil from Russia, and it's interesting. It's like, it's almost like Dick Cheney. You have all these people that are, my goodness, not for much longer. I don't think much. I think big change, and I'm excited for that big change, because that corruption is going to continue to be revealed and things are going to change. Okay, so Trump demands that all the NATO countries meet defense spending goals immediately. Why do you think that is? Let me go to the chat room and find out. Let's find out. Why do you think that all of a sudden we need that defense spending immediately, right? Hey, I love you too, Mia, and Lost Reality. Mia's got some cool music. You should try to come back later, Mia, and you should link it or something. Really cool. Sent me a track once. Let's see. Tannis High. I'm so grateful for all you coming. Oh, Brenton, wow. Just gave me $2. How's my fig doing? It's doing well. Oh, in 10 minutes with Big Elvis. That's another thing. Thank you, because I never talk about that. I can use the support. I appreciate it when you guys do that stuff. It really means a lot. Thank you very much. My fig tree is doing good. What's interesting about the fig tree is I actually planted it in a very sandy area, and I probably shouldn't have. I probably shouldn't have planted it there. I should probably put it in a different part of the yard. But then, I didn't want to replant it because I thought symbolically that's pretty cool. That it was like there was sand, which is devoid of the life that this tree needs. But on the flip side of the coin, I mixed it with some good earth and so I'm interested to see how that turns out. I'm interested to see. Thanks for asking. But with what's going on today, I think the fig tree is doing rather well. It's not dying. That's a good thing. Oh God, I'd be upset because that it was interesting. I bought that fig tree. I didn't think when I bought it, and I planted it in the backyard, but I didn't even make the connection with the end will be near. When the fig tree sprouts its leaves, the summer is coming. And so, when these things start to happen in the world, you'll know, right? I kept saying it. Everybody's like, World War III is going to happen. I go, no. There has to be peace. You have to feel like a sense of peace, and the whole world literally is going to have to be sort of at peace before that end comes, which, by the way, is a beginning. A beginning. Grand scheme of things, what we're going through right now, that's why you got to get it right now. You got to get it right now. Otherwise, who knows? Who knows? Maybe you got to do it again. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how it goes. But I know that now it's essential to get it right, because I know that we're infinite. We're infinite beings. So I don't want to come back and do this again, or I don't want to not exist. I don't know how it works. I have my ideas. I'm not going to force them on you. That's why I ask you all to ask the source, God, whatever you want to call the creator of all things, the architect. Architect. 11/11, this is another thing too. I had this thought yesterday and it was just interesting. I did a video. I have a great video on it, 11/11. It's been such a big thing in my life, and when I said the architect, I immediately thought of the Matrix, which made me think of 11/11. And it never dawned on me that those were bits, 1 1 1 1, because how a computer works is on and off. Okay, on and off. It's like imagine an electrical circuit, and the electric goes one way, it's on, then it's off. It's on, it's off. Okay, so you have 1, you have 0, 1 and 0. And quantum computers, they operate outside of that. They operate in other dimensions. It's another show. Go back and look at my D-Wave computer shows. But I thought to myself, wouldn't it be interesting if it was, on and off, light and dark, good and evil, and all it's going to be is light, true or false. And what was weird is, so I started researching this and digging into it, and I actually watched a computer programmer talk about how, the binary system works and how computers work and how they operate on this very simple principle, which is ones and zeros. And as the person's explaining it, I get that revelation. I'm like, wow, oh my goodness. Am I supposed to be woke up to the fact that maybe we're in a simulation? Well, we are to a certain extent because we're physically dying, we're spiritual beings. So this is a simulation, whether a biological one or a computer one. Everything's binary, if you look into it, and everything's pixelated as well. It's another show for another day. But this 11111, it really kind of hit me because I've been talking a lot about how we're going to come to a beginning, like things are going to be different. And I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if there was no good and evil anymore, if there was no truth or lies anymore? Like it wasn't just duality, but it was all one. And then it brought me back to when the Twin Towers were torn down, and I remember the twins being torn down, and it was one World Trade Center, which of course was the beast system, and of course it's the abyss. That one world government, that one world religion, that one everything. That's what I think is happening right now, because I think maybe they're in on something. Like maybe they know something. Maybe all of this stuff, this stuff that we're talking about. Maybe this extinction. Maybe this is more and more of this predictive programming, right? Because here's the weird thing. Look at the date. 2024. And that's what struck me. That's what struck me when I was watching this thing, was he said that we're going to meet this deadline by 2024 because something's happening 2024. I guess. I don't know. I mean, you look at the world today with all the with everything that's going on with the volcanoes and the earthquakes and the meteors and it's enough to drive you a little bonkers. So why all of a sudden, what's 2024 all about? It's the year of the dragon. So weird, right? It's like, you all paying attention? I mean, this is kind of interesting. Year of the dragon. Yeah, that's right. Interesting. You know what else happens on the year of the dragon? That second solar eclipse. An X right over the United States of America. So weird. It also actually cross-sects in a place called, I think it's Cairo, Illinois. I think it's like Little Egypt, they call it. Very biblical. It enters in Salem and the 33rd parallel and all of this stuff because, of course, we would have been left out of all this information. We would have been, lied to. And a lot of disinformation and a lot of trolls going around and trolling, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have a problem with trolls, whatever they are. They're people that live under the bridge. See, when you have wings of an angel or an eagle, it's actually an eagle, you're above the lies of the world. You can be in the world but not of the world, but you can rise above it. So, the people that are under the bridge, you are the bridge, right? Still underneath you, beneath you. And it's actually a good thing to maybe throw them a couple of sandwiches, try to get up on the bridge with you, because this is interesting. A lot of agendas, like there was a 2000. Maybe I'm gonna go to the chat room because I know a lot of you are so smart. Was it originally it was a 2030 agenda? Was that it? I think that they just upped that. think they said we have to come in a lot sooner now. Hi, Melissa. Truth is my armor. Hey, well, I'm so happy that you love it. I'm so happy for. Thank you for subscribing and for sharing things around and checking the bell and I don't say it enough. You guys, you gotta subscribe. It's like I'm so tired of 99,000. No, I don't. Listen. If you don't want to subscribe, you don't have to. I would 2030. Thank you. Everybody's jumping on. Okay, I see. Scowling Wolf is 2030. Amy's 2030. Everybody's like 2030, 2030, or 2030. Okay. Agenda 21. Yes, thank you. I knew I was onto something there. This is what's interesting. It was bumped up. So you see all of this stuff happening with NATO, right? Trump was on that. On the Economist magazine. Google it. Trump, Economist, Judgment, cover, tarot card. He was on the Judgment. Judgment, United States, was last year. With a crown, a little rod. Sitting on the world. And it seems like right now, he is kind of sitting on the world. I mean, seems like he's leading some kind of a charge, right? You see all of these people. Once again, not political. I'm not supporting it. I'm only here to tell the story the way I see it. I'm interpreting it for you, if you will, revealing a deeper meaning. It seems like people are coming together, right? I mean, we hear that it seems like everybody's starting to work together a little bit. And while a lot of people are talking about, don't just because you're talking about it, World War III is coming. Maybe. It's possible. But for the first time, there's this possibility for peace and safety. Peace and security, peace and safety. For the first time, it seems like that's the push. And what else is going on at the same exact time? Biometrics being pushed through, 5G thrown down our throats, and AI has already made more and more leaps and bounds. How cool was it, that AI drone, right? That dragon, the flying dragon? That was cool. It's amazing. It's also the fact that all we see seems like it's just overwhelming at some points, because they're nonstop hitting you with all of this disturbing information, especially on YouTube. So we have this other eclipse coming in 2024. We have everybody gearing up for 2024, and what does that mean? Look, it's a possibility. That there is a huge asteroid, Pantheon, I talked about on Jason's show if you want to hear more about it. But there's a lot going on, supposedly, out there in the stars. And so when I woke up this morning and I saw that this was coming out on July 27th, which also happens to be the blood moon, and that alignment and the opposition of Mars. See, that's the thing, is that Mars is completely opposing the Earth, the war god. Scripture talks about that, which is interesting. Well, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? Because it would have been written a long time ago, especially if we have to worry about some kind of an invasion, which I don't know. I don't even know. Is this going to happen? Not tomorrow, not the next day, down the road. I don't know. Is there a reason they're trying to get everybody biometrically scanned? There's a new federal license that everybody's going to have to comply with. Everybody's going to be put in a database. Is that a bad thing? Well, maybe that's just the way the leaders of the world are dealing with if something is coming our way. Not saying it is, but there does seem to be a lot of weird coincidence and synchronicity. But this is what I want to leave you with, okay? I want to leave you with all this. This is a good sign. This right here that we're seeing It's a good sign. The boys are being rescued from this dark place. So the child that's in each and every one of us that I talked about, that September 23rd sign I had said was, I had hoped that it would be like a wake-up call for people like that 1111, which would mean no more duality, which would mean that Ouroboros being torn apart, time coming to an end, if you will, the way we know it, and maybe infinity begins. Maybe we are more than we've been told. Maybe all of this simulacrum, which is what it is, it's an illusion. Maybe it's all there to keep us from finding our true purpose, from finding our true potential, and from spiritually evolving and being rescued out of this cave. While that dragon is flooding the cave. Isn't that interesting? So incredibly beautiful. This is good news. And there's a lot of good news in the world. And I challenge each and every one of you to share the good news with others. I love each and every one of you. I'm going to stay on in the chat afterwards. I like to do that. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. For now, I'm going to sign off. I'm looking forward to that Netflix movie. I was a little bummed out with Cloverfield Paradox. You know, after the Super Bowl, they put that up, which was interesting because a movie about, of course, you know, a company like CERN opening up a parallel dimension, whatever it is, right? Aliens, demons, extra-dimensional beings, or just an eclipse, world war, or just gas. I don't know. Enjoy the story, enjoy the ride, because you're the hero. And I think it's about time. And here's another thing I want to tell you. I see in the comments section a lot. I see all of you helping each other and encouraging each other and lifting each other up. And I will say, you don't need to defend me. You don't need to attack another that is putting me down. Give me the opportunity to come on them and encourage, you know, to reveal something to them. Don't feel like you gotta tell them, hit the brakes, you don't like that, you were saying bad things, bad things. I appreciate it. I love it. But an open arm is much better than a closed fist. You know, when your hand is open, you can feed someone with it. When it's closed, you can't do anything. Especially if you got birdseed on it.